So then,
But it kind of goes hand in hand. So if you can play more, you're probably going to get more stuff, unless you're like me and you're sitting there stuck with a full gambit of expeditions, just watching the time tick down and don't have any gems to speed them along. And, that's just it. You're playing for, I don't know. I don't think they should give mastery points for secondary rewards after you've filled up yours for the day. That's kind of annoying. I'd rather just get the gold, or I'd rather get the gold. Unless it's a gold star piece, I don't really, it'd be nice if you could get just gold. I mean, now that's a double gold event. That's kind of really nice. I think that's kind of outside of gems, which is obviously they give a lot. Toho, I'll give Toho credit. They give a lot of apology gems. I think
do.
They've probably given out $70 or $80 worth since they started playing the games. I mean, that's pretty good on them. And I'll give them more props as far as just listening to what needs to happen.
Yeah, for sure. They really.
There's a lot of companies that are crap. They won't do anything. They're like, hey, this is broke. We need to fix it. Nah, we're not going to do it. And they just ignore them. But Toho has been pretty responsive as far as what, Mothra needs a nerf. Okay, we nerf Mothra. Hey, 4-stars need a buff, so we can actually use them. Hey, here's a buff to 4-stars. Except for Space Godzilla and Bylante. So we'll see what they want to do there.
Yeah, it makes me really excited for next season, because who knows what they're gonna be changing up.
That's when Giant Octopus is gonna take the meta, right?
Dude, that's what I'm saying. That's my next question: is what's the character from Godzilla lore that you would like to see come to the game, and why is it Giant Octopus?
Well, Giant Octopus would. I remember that. I can remember watching that movie as a kid. I mean, that's going back. Good stuff. I think it would be kind of cool to see the original Mechagodzilla. I've always just been a fan. I really wish they could work out some way where, I thought it was so cool when I was younger, where he shows up in the fake Godzilla costume, and then the real Godzilla shows up and they fight and he burns the skin off. And,
that would be kind of
cool.
sick. Like an imposter Godzilla somehow. It would be cool.
Yeah, like if they could. I don't want him to be an evolution unit, because that'd just be kind of dumb.
Well, you could.
If they could do some kind of damage show, I don't know.
You could do like Godzilla. You drop like a Godzilla on the field, and then when it dies, it evolves on first death. But it has like a higher health pool, so it's harder to make him evolve.
Maybe like a 2-drop Godzilla or something like that.
Yeah, and then it cranks up to like
a 5-drop.
Yeah, it comes up to like 5 or 6. That would be a ton of fun. I would love an imposter, a very sus Godzilla, if you will. Oh, that's gonna do good on the YouTube algorithm that I mentioned, sus.
Right. I think the problem with I definitely want to see Mechagodzilla 74 in the game. I don't know flavor-wise how. It's kind of like all the different Godzillas, right? So they got obviously a ton of Godzillas on that list. Like, how do you make them feel
unique?
Different. So we've got G89 that punches things in the face. We've got Pew Pew Laser G21, and then we've got
Sniper Machine
Singular Point.
Yeah.
So like, what do you do? What is GVK, the GMK Godzilla gonna? What would he bring to the table? What would Godzilla 2000? I mean, essentially they're all fairly similar. I mean, we're all kind of, I think, waiting on pins and needles when they put Shin Godzilla out, and he's going to be some kind of three
like insane death machine,
destroy something like that.
See, now we have in chat. They want to know with Mechagodzilla from Godzilla versus Kong. Like what even could be going on with that? Because that's a wildly different variation of Mechagodzilla than what we're normally used to.
Yeah, and I would like to see Kiryu in the game. I really thought that was a cool one, but like, do you make it with the oh god, my brain's not working, the
Super X?
The super cold cannon that he had in the first Godzilla, in Godzilla against Mechagodzilla.
Oh, the like absolute zero.
Godzilla's got the big star on his chest. Yes, the absolute zero.
They could do two. Cannon. They could do 2 Kiryus. They could do one normal and then one like super Kiryu or whatever with the absolute zero cannon.
They could.
Or that could be his leader ability. Who knows?
Yeah, but I mean, then do we take Mechagodzilla 74? How are we going to make him feel different than Mechagodzilla 2? I mean, you already got so we're going to have him use the finger rockets instead of the I-beam. Are we going to have him fly? He flew a little bit, use the I-beam. I think they're going to. Essentially, they're probably running into an issue with making things, because you want the 4-star. We're assuming that it's going to be a 4-star unit. They already told us that. So you got to make them feel different than the others. So otherwise it's just not worth it. So what do you do? what are some standouts there? I mean, if they truly go by we've already been told that most of them are going to end up in the game, I guess, eventually.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious to see, like, Burning Godzilla, what do you do there? Does he
probably just melts down and dies,
like a
or
down timer and blow up? I mean, you rush him to the leader with Gigan and just let him just go boom. I mean,
yeah, it's
we'll
a lot of
see.
different options there with him. At least he's like different than most Godzillas. But I see what you're saying, and I brought that up in the Discord earlier. Was that there was a lot of the Godzillas on the list are like extremely similar. Like,
well,
and,
I mean, all
yeah,
the
and
Godzillas
young
here are
Codger
extremely
jokes in
similar.
the
I
chat. What would Burning Godzilla do? Die? Yeah, like that's what I was saying earlier in Discord. Like he shows up, if you kill him, he does like an AOE on death, because the only person that has another AOE on death is Hedorah, and his is pretty good, or
Right.
was really good last season. So no reason that Burning Godzilla can't do something similar, you know?
Right. So what does he do until he dies? I guess is the
I don't know, punch.
is the question.
He just dies.
Right.
I don't know.
P89 except he blows up. Where do you balance the cost? I mean, I don't know. I don't think he's going to be the winner.
I think Kiryu is winning right
Octopus.
now. I'm camping Giant Octopus hardcore. There's no way that, because I get a lot of reach on YouTube and Discord and Twitter. I'm getting a lot, but I will say that there is a rabid fan base for Godzilla characters that are not even involved with my channel whatsoever. So there's a lot of votes for Kiryu right now.
Right.
Kiryu.
I've seen a lot of people saying Varan.
Varan and Kiryu are like really close together. I think Kiryu had 55 English votes as of like 2 p.m. this morning, and Varan had like 30 something or 33 or like 40 or something like that. Which I didn't even think he was going to get that high.
Kiryu would be like Ninja, because that was a little more agile Mecha Godzilla. It could kind of run and gun a little bit more than the other two incantations that were more of a I'm going to lumber at you. And
yeah, even on his cover photo or the cover for one of the movies, I think it was like Godzilla against Bad Godzilla or whatever it was, the one with Kiryu, the first one, he's like jumping up, and like this is the first time Mecha Godzilla's jumped, like out of the ground.
Yeah, so I mean, do you have him be more of a ninja style? I would like to see maybe one of the Godzillas have an energy beam that can pass through.
That would be crazy. We don't have any units that do that.
Or if you're attacking a swarm with, say, single point Godzilla now, or G21 is a good example. Like if he shoots the first Kamaculus and then just vaporize it and go right through it and hit the one behind it. I think that could be an option for something. That brings a whole nother level of something if you're talking about bringing that to a leader for defense. So I don't know if you want to, that's kind of a touchy. Do you want to mess with that? I don't know how their algorithm in their game would work, if it would allow it to kind of pass through or not. I don't know if they'd have to retool. Kind of surprised, honestly, to not see Destroy on that list, since we have Sea Larva already.
Yeah, Destroy a Larva separate from Destroy a Perfect Form. So that makes me believe he will not be an evolution unit, and I can just drop that sucker right on the field. You don't even understand the money. Listen, Destroy Larva comes out and my girlfriend ever sees my bank account, you'll never see another YouTube video on my channel ever again. I promise you that. I'm gonna spend. I gotta have Destroy as my favorite.
Well, I mean, if he get at that point, do you make him the first legitimate 8-10 drop? Where Ghidorah was an 8 drop, but let's be honest, it really wasn't.
I think Destroy is definitely going to be one of the higher tier drops. I think they're definitely going to make him a leader for sure.
Do we see it do they eventually go to a 5-star unit? I guess is another question. At what point do you, because obviously I think the first 5-star unit has got to be a Godzilla. I don't know which one.
It's going to be like the original or Shin Godzilla or something like that.
Shin, or I mean, and then you have to balance, okay, if we put 1954 in here, why is he a 5-star and G21? If you compare the two, size-wise, power-wise, obviously the movie, he gets more and more powerful pretty much every movie.
Yeah.
So you got to kind of make that make sense, I guess. I don't know if you really do or not. Not really. I guess it really doesn't. I guess in my head as a Godzilla fan, it needs to make sense, but as far as in the game, I guess it doesn't. Just kind of, I don't know. I think the game is missing some more crowd control options. I mean, you kind of got vanilla, but maybe the tanks were good last meta. Now they're bad. don't really think. Just not because they changed. It's because the meta changed around. I'm not really. I've seen some tank base. If I see a base, I mean, you're gonna win. Or it's a bot.
Well, I totally think that like there's tons of units that are gonna come to the game like inevitably, and it's just so interesting to see how they're gonna get added. Because as of right now, we've had 4 units get added, and each one has been completely different than the next.
Yeah, I mean, I thought at one time, I thought the name escapes the big. Well, they've been several, but the giant spider would be a good option to kind of cocoon something up and stop it for a little bit. Maybe not stop it where it can just be nuked and not defend itself. Maybe like literally encase it in a cocoon. Maybe like a countdown timer on it. So then it's just kind of sitting there, can't take damage, and then it pops out. That'd be kind of cool. Mothra kind of does something a little bit of slow with her web, but it's not effective enough to defend herself. She just dies. If you got something out there with her, it can definitely help. So I don't know. Could Giant Octopus hit air? I think we went through that in chat the other day because we have a air Giant Octopus. Can it squirt ink? Can it jump? Are they trying to? I guess the question is what. And I don't know if I know the answer. What is there some niche that's missing kind of with all the units we've got now? Because you can't just keep going like, well, here's the best units, we're going to make a counter, because then you're going to be stuck in this continual thing. So I don't know, is there a niche spot that we don't have now that we need? I don't know. I still think there's, you got with crowd control, you've got Manila and Freezing Sunday is only the real 2 you ever see. The dumb satellite thing, it tries. I have seen people try to pull my Ghidorah in closer to their leader with it. Generally doesn't work for them. I understand their thinking, it just doesn't do the damage. If you're going to spend that kind of thing on defense, just level a Markalite Cannon and let it go to town. Markalite Cannon, good. It's solid.
Ichan swears by the Markalite Cannon.
Yeah, I mean it dies relatively quick. But if you drop one and they can't really deal with it, it'll nuke something in a hurry. Now, it's not going to win you a game because it obviously can't hit a leader until way late. I mean, way late game, if you can survive and drop it when the leaders are at the closest range they basically get, that's a lot of damage. And I think I've late game, it's just hard to overcome, which is funny, but it's just another unit. That's a unit that people look over and want to go back to that. I mean, that's a unit that you have to kind of learn and plan around how to deal with it. You go, if it's in the center, you've got to kind of deal with it. If it's on one side of the field or the other, you just kind of abandon that side for a little bit, unless you've got a Jet Jaguar and another Mecha Godzilla to send at it, or
I just avoid it as soon as I see it.
Yeah, but I mean, even at that, you're talking about a 5-cost unit that cuts half the field off for how long is it out there? 40 seconds. I don't know the timer on it. I don't really play it, so I don't know how long it's out there. But yeah, I know Ichan does love his Markalite Cannon. I've been annoyed with many Markalite Cannons. I've been killed by a few late game. It's really good against. If you don't have a Ghidorah or a Mega Garrus that's high level, and you got a Markalite Cannon, it gets a little expensive to level up to the effective range. But the pieces are readily available. So if you don't have any pieces or whatever, you want to spend some gold on Markalite Cannon, it'll do work for you.
I've seen success with the Markalite Cannon. When I've tried it a few times, Ichan uses it a lot, and I've been getting it used on me. It can definitely kill Ghidorah really fast, and can run through my Godzilla singular point very fast as well. So Markalite Cannon definitely I think is a sleeper pick. I don't think it's like the best unit or like a meta unit, but definitely is something to consider, especially if you don't have a Ghidorah and you're trying to counter Ghidorah. For sure, Markalite Cannon.
Or G89. I mean, it may not kill the G89, but depending on the level, but it may take him low enough to where you can handle it a lot easier with your leader and some other units if you don't have another G89 to put out there. Still G89. G89 is still the king of the meta right now. I know people are going to burn me on, Ghidorah and Singular Point. Well, I run them too. Nothing against them. They're a great unit. Ghidorah not going to really solo a leader that fast. But you have a really high level one and a low level leader. But G89 will just end the game. I mean, if you get a G89 in your face, chances are you're going to end the game.
As soon as I see one drop, I just try to slow them and slow them and slow them.
Yeah, I mean, that's all you can do is just try to slow it down. You know, I've seen it all. You know, freezing Sunday is an annoying one to get over. That's probably, honestly, that and Swarm is probably the most effective way to deal with it outside of a G89. And then you just hope that your G89 wins the head-to-head fist fight, or 9 times out of 10 they end up knocking each other out. So you've not lost anything there. You're just, you know, I always go back to the energy advantage. So if you're spending, if they're having to spend their whole 10 energy to counter your 7, you know, then you're already ahead by 3.
Mm-hmm.
You had some decks are just going to have to work. There's more grindy decks. The deck I kind of started with this meta because I didn't have Gigan at the level I needed to be the leader. Was more of a grindy deck. You know, not Swarm, but the regular 2-drop Cam and Manila and some other stuff. It didn't really win as fast. It could if I got, you know, Singular Point and Ghidorah out, and then it had Ultima. Really, it was really about Ultima, and then Buff with the Heat Ray.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of what Emerald's doing the same thing kind of with that, and he's using, you know, now you still see Battra a little bit. To me, you know, there's, you know, if you get Battra out and he's sitting on top of G21 and buffing them, yeah, that's a lot of damage. But if you can get those 2 or 3, you know, things going at one time, you're probably winning anyway. Not knocking the strategy, it works. I mean, he's sitting in the top 20,
Mm-hmm.
So it obviously is very, very effective. But those 2 units alone are not good. So if you can't, that's an 11 energy expenditure plus an evolution. And if you're talking G21, if you're talking Ultima, now you got 2 evolutions and an 11 energy expenditure just to get the 2 units. So you know what, you know, I guess if you're able to do that and pull it off, and nobody's got a counter to one of them, Battra has a pretty low HP pool. Hits really hard, but definitely does not have a high HP pool.
So listen, I don't mean to cut you off, but
You're good.
We are going an hour with the interview, so I want to ask right now in the chat if anyone has any last-minute questions. Ask away. Otherwise, we're calling it here. Because there's been a lot of, you've been throwing out so much. I haven't even been trying to like interject in anything. There's just been like a ton of great information coming out of you. Like we've thrown out numbers and strategies, and even bringing up units that I didn't even think we were going to be talking about. So
yeah,
thank you for that.
I mean, it's not like some other, you know, games. Where right now we're so early in this. There's not like 100 different cards or, you know, 200 cards. There's no hidden. Nothing's really hidden. I mean, yes, the decks you see listed are not even accurate, so you can't go by that. But it's not like anybody's got anything secret over somebody else. I mean, there's 33 cards, and you know, chances are you're probably running the same 4 or 5 as everybody else.
Oh, we got a question. What is your favorite team to use?
Well, right now, the deck that I'm running has got Gigan as the leader, and then G89, Mecha Godzilla, King Caesar, Jet Jaguar, Terrestrius, King Ghidorah, and the energy generator that I have a love-hate relationship with it. You know, even though, you know, there's people are starting to run and still running. You know, every now and then I see a missile, but it's more train. You know, if they're going to run the train just to counter my energy generator, I'm not really worried about it hurting anything else I have. So I guess I'll give that to them. But I've got a level 20 generator, and I've seen people use their trains on it. It takes it down to about half health, and they just log out. They're like, well, I can't deal with it. You know, yeah, it's the math on it. It's 5 energy to gain 8. So really you're netting 3, but it's more about, and I hated it. I don't like running it, but with the deck I'm running, it does help because there's a big difference between being able to put G89 out with a 4-drop with him because you get that extra tick versus having to put like him and like a Manila out. That, you know, it just is. The things that work out better. I've tried it without it. There's some games where I never put it down because it never comes up. I love to see it first thing. You know, opponent plays Terrestrius, I play Energy Generator. Terrestrius gets about halfway, and I've probably got my full energy bar to pretty much spend on keeping it from evolving, and they've just been sitting there looking at me. then all of a sudden you drop a G89 and a Jaguar, and all of a sudden you killed the Terrestrius and boosted, and your G89 is now sprinting at them because you let Terrestrius take care of the buildings in the way for you. And then while they're sprinting at them, you're building up energy again, and usually you can drop like a Ghidorah, or be ready with King Caesar for their potential counter move, depending on what you know. If this for opening game, you may not know what all they've got. If it's been a little bit, you may have seen everything they've got, and you kind of know what to hold and wait.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the deck I've kind of settled on, and I tried G21 instead of Terrestrius. I've got some kills with it. It just seemed kind of like a win more spot. But you just have to evaluate if you'd rather have a potential dead card in your hand late, or have a card you have to combo with another card to make it work, and that would just be, I guess, play style preference maybe at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. Well, listen. Thank you for letting us know all about this deck and this strategy, obviously. So, any last words you want to say to anyone?
Now you know what I'm going to do. So,
yeah, now we're prepared to deal with you.
Yeah, now you're prepared. So now I got to go change it up now, right? But yeah, I don't think it's no secret. I think everybody should level their Gigan up and try it. Now, if everybody's running Gigan as the leader, then another counter meta is going to develop, which is good. That's what you want. So, yeah.
Well,
I'm usually in Discord. A lot of the days. If anybody's got any questions for me after this, they think of something. If you're in our Discord, which if you're not, you need to be. Ask away. I'm pretty much an open book. Like I said, there's no real secrets here.
So then there you go. Join the Discord at Staggothi if you have any questions, because he says he'll answer them for you. So now we're gonna hold him to it.
Yeah. Questions about the game. I better caveat that with questions about the game. We don't need all sorts of weird stuff. But I will shamelessly plug my brother, actually my younger brother, which he's the only brother I got. He owns and operates Kaiju News Outlets, if anybody's familiar with that. So look him up. If you're not, I know Melee's pretty familiar. So.
There we go. Kaiju News Outlet plug right there.
Hey, I brought him. I kind of gigged him a little bit in the Discord the other day, so I'll give him a little plug there. But no, he's done a pretty good job with it. So he gets a lot of information. He's the one that turned me onto this game. I guess I turned him on to Godzilla when he was younger, so he's now turned me onto this game, and yeah, so it's a good time. So at the end of the day, we're all Godzilla fans, right?
Yeah, and
for
so
monster fans in general.
Huge that you are related to Kaiju News Outlet. I've been looking at it for however long it's been around. I've been following it forever. I feel like
maybe we can get him. I think he might actually be in the Twitch, but maybe we can get him on an interview call one day. I know he's done some stuff before on YouTube with some other places. So I'm sure he would work out a time. I'm sure he would probably participate.
Listen, whatever you want to do, I'm all ears, I'm all game. I'm not going to press for such a massive plug as Kaiju News Outlet, but if he ever needs anything for Battle Line, listen, I'm in the Discord, so you got a hold of me. But thank you so much for joining us tonight. Really, I appreciate all the information, for sure.
Hey, no problem. We'll have to do it again sometime, maybe next meta. We'll see what happens.
Of course. Listen, I love doing these little interviews, so next meta, we can discuss. We can have you on, discuss it.
That sounds good to me. Everybody, thank you for the questions. It was a good time.
All right. Well, thank you, man. Have a good one.
See ya.
See you later.
Yeah.